Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Ulfha Rima Dewi. I'm a student of English Education Study Program. So in this video, I want to share a personal story from my own learning journey that relates to the concept of learner differences, culture and diversity, and also cognitive and behavioral views of learning. So when I was in my final year of senior high school, I studied at a boarding school that strongly emphasized language learning, especially English and Arabic. We had a unique language program that ran twice a day, right after the Subuh prayer and also after Maghrib prayer. This was a daily routine for all students in the dorm. When I was third senior high school, I was thrust to become one of the student instructor for that language program. At first, I was very excited, but I quickly realized that not all students learned in the same way. Some of them were very confident and active, while others were quiet and needed more time to respond. This made me reflect a lot about learner differences, that every student has their own pace and learning style. Some are visual learners, some prefer repetition, and others need peer modeling before they feel comfortable speaking. I also noticed how cultural background and personality shape students' participation. For example, students from certain region were more expressive, while others, especially from more rural areas, tend to stay silent, not because they didn't understand, but because they were shy or not used to speaking in public. That's when I learned the importance of creating a safe and supportive environment. As an instructor, I started using a mix of strategies. From a cognitive perspective, I encourage students to reflect on their learning and use strategies like making vocabulary maps or writing short dialogues. At the same time, from a behavioral perspective, I gave praise or small rewards for those who tried to speak up, even if it was just one sentence. If I could go back and do it again, I think I would spend more time getting to know each student's learning style and background before teaching. I will also use more group activities to reduce anxiety and encourage cooperation between students with different strengths. From that experience, I learned that being a teacher is not just about explaining materials, but about understanding your students as individuals with different needs, preference, and background. This experience helped me grow not only as a student teacher, but also as a learner. It's reminded me that patience, empathy, and flexibility are essential in education. It's also shaped the way I want to teach in the future, with more awareness of how cognitive and behavioral principles work together and how important it is to embrace diversity in classroom. Most importantly, I learned that every student has a story that affects how they behave, how they respond, and how they learn. As teachers, we need to be sensitive to those stories. We need to ask ourselves not just why isn't this student participating, but what support does the student need to feel safe and valued. Looking ahead, I hope to always bring this reflection into my future classroom. I want to create a space where students are not afraid to make mistakes, where differences are seen as strength, and where learning is not one size fits all, but personal and meaningful for each learner. Because in the end, teaching is not just about transferring knowledge, it's about building relationship, nurturing growth, and empowering students to believe in themselves. So I think that's all my own learning journey. Thank you for listening my reflection. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.